Yo, yo, yo! Thursday night, not Wednesday. It's fine, people. I know that the world's been crazy and we're probably losing track of time and days, but we are a day late. It's Thursday night. It's Draft for Upside. Coming to you on behalf of FantasyFootballBlueprint.com. It's me, Johnny Danger, and my boy Chris Emrick. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I have this really bad habit of when we go live, always having my face turned, trying to pull something up on my other screen. I'm not prepared. I try to be prepared because you always give me a lot of grief about not having my drink. So right. I have my drink right now.
Perfect.
It's called Zoombox Double Dry Hopped Hazy India Pale Ale by 3 Stars Brewing. This was originally a beer that I got denied service for. Simply because I had my young wife with me and she didn't have an ID. So I went to the other store and got it. It was not worth it. It was not. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
I love it. Well, I'm actually having a beer tonight, my friend.
I know. It's pretty exciting.
I poured it already, so my bad. But I got a little This is Bat Country. Of course, a quote from one of the all-time greatest movies of all time. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I do like that movie.
It's a fantastic movie. So one time I was living in Petoskey in a one-bedroom apartment with 3 other gentlemen, and we had the only entertainment in the house was one of those 18-inch combined TV VCR units. Mm-hmm. And we put that movie in one day, and it got stuck there and wouldn't come out. And it wouldn't let you go back to the TV. It just stuck on the input for the thing. So we just played it on repeat for an entire summer, and it was just known as The Movie. And it was just always on in the background.
Me and my friend Tom, my friend Chris, we did something similar when we got our first place together, probably like 21 or 22 or something like that. Tom actually wasn't part of that. He just slept on the couch and didn't pay rent. But he would leave the TV on, so I made him pay electricity. But here's the thing. We had Rounders and Boiler Room were the only 2 movies. Cable got cut off because we didn't pay it because we were irresponsible. So all we ever watched was Rounders and Boiler Room. So every morning I'd wake up to go to work and it would be on the first, that first loop of the DVD. And they weren't even ours. I never returned them to Blockbuster. I had Blockbuster membership.
Oh, Blockbuster. What could have been for them, huh?
Yeah. I think we should open a Blockbuster. I think
right? Just
movie, just a movie place.
I mean, I'm in Howell. It's kind of the middle of nowhere. I think we could pull it off. There's still a family video here.
That makes sense. You said you don't even have rideshare out there, so.
Oh man, nothing. We got nothing here. It's fine.
My mom lived in Brighton for 2 years, so I totally get it.
Yeah. So, what did you end up on your showdowns, man? What did you end up playing?
Not gonna lie, I didn't play. I usually play 20 to 30 lineups. Today I only played 5. So I've got a little bit of. I think I have more Rodgers captains. I have 2 captains, 3 Rodgers, 2 Adams, a lot of Hasty, a little Hasty and McKinnon, a fair amount of Taylor. I've got a Reed with a Gould. Apparently, I'm making that one, and then
nice.
I think my favorite. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Did you remember to play any Ricky James tonight?
I didn't.
Dude, Ricky James, he's the play.
Yeah, I don't expect. My lineup's probably going to do well. My read is probably right. This was probably the day to go all in on my thoughts, as opposed to last Monday when I was, 5-1 Tampa Bay and 23 lineups, and that didn't work.
Yeah, that didn't work. It worked. Speaking of didn't work, how about my best bets this week? Yeah, that didn't work. Dude, crashing down to life, didn't I?
It was an overall really, really bad day for the brand.
Yes.
All over the place, we did really bad. I don't think my building box was terrible. Certainly.
No, this guy's right. Hey, I 5x'd my money in DFS. It's just my bet picks were terrible.
I don't know. It felt bad. The whole weekend just felt bad. There was nothing that felt good about it. I couldn't get drunk at first, and then I got really drunk. Then I sprained my ankle walking the dog, and I just stepped somewhere and my ankle just collapsed. So that was cool.
Awesome.
It wasn't a bad one. So yeah. So we're so here we are, a new week.
Yes, a new week indeed, man. Let's turn the page. Let's keep moving. Let's move on to week 9. Yeah. I'm going to watch a little bit of this game tonight, so let's try to get it over by halftime since I'm a raging 49ers fan. And, so we can get in to watch a little bit of that. But why don't we just break right into the show, man? Let's just get right in there. Let's get into the first game. Let me pull up my sheet here. Got so excited I was drinking a real beer. I wasn't quite ready. So this is like a 16% half bourbon barrel, half just super giant rich chocolate brownie batter gooey goodness stout, and it's amazing. Just for the record.
So if San Francisco scores first, are you gonna want them to just stop the game?
Yeah, stop the game. Stop the clock. Clock needs to be challenged.
Truthfully, there's not enough people there watching, and they're not close enough. Like we need more observers in the stands because we don't know.
Right.
Like these games, I don't know.
Who knows? All right, well, let's get into it, my friend. Let's go right to some of my favorite content right away, right off the bat. Let's not keep the listeners waiting. Seattle Seahawks heading to Buffalo, 55-point over-under, 2.5-point favorites are the Seahawks. Man, I don't know, man. Josh Allen might be my best play of the week. I just love him. I know it's going to be chalky, but I just can't get away from it. Every time I start a lineup, I just feel awful not clicking Josh Allen's name.
So I usually use this show as something as like a first look. I sometimes glance over and take a look at some of the salaries and get some just basis thoughts, but don't really get a whole lot because I want it to be authentic. Now we were supposed to be on the show yesterday, and I still haven't looked. I really actually haven't looked. I glanced at a couple things, so I have some very brief thoughts. But this is the first time that I even realized that Buffalo was playing Seattle and that Josh Allen would be a good play, and I certainly do. I do agree with you there. I think that's a fantastic play. I don't know who else is playing, so I'm not even sure
right?
my favorite play, but I definitely do like this play. Stephon Diggs is going to be super chalky and right.
Big time.
So the guy that I think that could be interesting here is definitely John Brown, but also Cole Beasley. I've been touting him for a little while. I like his role in this offense. I think that
him and Brown both sucked in week 8. So one of them's going to rebound, if not both of them.
Josh Allen's kind of sucked since week 5, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm with you. I haven't really looked. I put my lineups together when the contest opened Tuesday morning, as you saw, and I'm leaving them, not touching them, not changing them. They are what they are. The only thing I have not built is our DFS seasonal league. So that's the only thing I will look at. I'm leaving those other 4 lineups as is because you know what? Messing around with them on Sunday morning is not working. So building them Tuesday morning is the new game.
There you go. So, hey, I just opened up my model, and the 2 quarterbacks from this game are 1 and 2 in my model.
Yeah, of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
I don't know, because Justin Herbert's playing, like Kyler Murray's playing. And
it's true. It's true. All things are true. Who's talking to me?
Adams just scored a touchdown.
Fair.
60 yards, so they're going to keep playing. They're going to keep playing. All the quarters need to be played.
That's probably true. Am I winning money?
I don't know. Aaron Jones had a big role in that drive, too.
Did he? Oh, yeah. That's because there's no scores. No scores updated. Come on. Do your thing. Anyways, I'm with you, man. I didn't really sleep Tuesday night and not much last night either, so I haven't really looked. I woke up and didn't want to get out of bed Tuesday morning, so I threw those lineups together, but I'm looking at them now. They're not terrible. What's your thought on the Seahawks game side? It seems like Metcalf and Lockett kind of are taking turns.
I think Metcalf's the better play most of the time, especially if the price is going to be close. But in this situation, I have a sneaky feeling that Metcalf is going to be the higher owned. I mean, last week it was a smash spot for playing Metcalf. Mm-hmm. Tyler Lockett coming off that huge game, drove up ownership. There's only a $400 difference in price. And I certainly think that Metcalf's ceiling is above that of Lockett's most weeks. I mean, certainly I don't think we're ever going to see another 40 or 50-point game from Lockett. But he's $1,000 cheaper, and if his ownership is 10% lower, I definitely think that's the way to go. It just depends on what the differential is going to be, and that's I had a couple conversations with people about leverage, about ownership, and sometimes people don't totally understand it. because it's hard to quantify those things. Like ownership's not the end all be all. You can have a 40% owned guy and play him. You can go over on that guy. You can go under. But like last week, it was just an obvious play between Metcalf and Lockett. Metcalf only being $400 more, being the guy that's going to smash more often than not over Lockett, and being lower owned. All of those things combined made him the better play, and it worked out. Just like Lockett was actually the better play the week before because he was like 15 or 20% less owned. It was something absurd. I think I'm probably exaggerating a bit, but he was $1,000 less. It just allowed you to do so many other things, and it was a way to be different if you were going to go on the other side of the ball as a run back. It's expensive. You can't get both of these guys as a single, so it's almost like you have to run it back or figure out a way to get cheap to put Russ in there. But this game's going to be highly targeted, and it definitely deserves to be. But I think Buffalo's defense is actually pretty good.
Yeah, they're not bad. Any thoughts on the backfield for either of these teams in this game, or is this a wide receiver kind of play only game?
I don't know. I want to take a wait and see approach with Mr. Moss. I think Singletary's time is done, and that's disappointing, but he's been disappointing. Are we going to see Zach Moss be that guy again? But, I don't know. I don't know if last week was just an aberration. Chris Carson, to me, it's tough. If he's healthy, we know he's healthy, maybe. DJ Dallas at 5,000 is a nice price. It's probably not where I'm going to go with any of these guys. I just don't see it right now. I haven't looked at the rest of the slate, but I'm going to assume that I'm going to find better spots elsewhere.
I would tend to agree. Looks like the Adams touchdown was challenged but held up.
All scoring plays are reviewed.
Yeah. I like it. All right. Well, I have a tie with like 13,000 other people with the Adams and Rodgers touchdown. Fantastic.
I'm in 13,000th place.
Yeah, I'm in 43,000th place.
Nice. I think I'm actually.
So I'm playing the Aaron Jones.
Oh yeah, well, Aaron Jones wasn't in that lineup, I don't think. Oh no, he definitely was. All right, but I have the Packers defense.
There you go.
I have Dexter Williams in that too, so hopefully Aaron Jones is done for the day.
I like it.
All right, well, what's next?
No more carries. I got sidetracked. My bad. All right, let's continue on, shall we? How about Denver Broncos heading to Atlanta? This is a Lou Landers special game. 49.5 with a 4-point favorite are the Falcons. Lou wants us to talk about Drew Lock and Noah Fant here. He really wants it. He's pushing it. He says it's his play of the week, GPP play of the week. I don't mind it. I think it's not going to be incredibly off the radar, seeing Atlanta gives up big numbers. Lock has looked good last week at least, and partially the week before. Fant is top 10 tight end most weeks. So, there's nothing crazy about that assumption. Are you buying into any Drew Lock for yourself in any of your lineups?
No, not.
You're done with Lou after the Le'Veon Bell twice incident.
Yeah, no, so here's my thought on this, and I think a lot of people will go to it, but since they've made that change in Atlanta and fired Dan Quinn, while their defense hasn't been great, they've been markedly improved.
Didn't they do that like last year too? Like halfway through the year, they kind of flipped the script and suddenly were good for a few weeks on defense?
They did. They were just good overall. I think they won like 6 out of their last 7. And so there was a lot of excitement coming into this year. And so as they lost all these games in really spectacular fashion, that kind of led to Dan Quinn's dismissal. And part of it is that he's supposed to be a defensive guru, and their defense has just been trash, like whatever. They've been trash. They've been bad.
Trash.
Dogs don't really make trash. They're very green.
So they spread out trash sometimes.
Yeah, well, mine doesn't. She's a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm not really interested in a lot of stuff. I don't really believe in this Denver offense. I think you could maybe make a case for Jerry Jeudy to be somebody that you could play. Yeah, okay. 4,700. Sure. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not going to go to it. I'm probably just going to kind of take a stand and not play anything here. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, I guess.
I mean, season-wise, Jerry Jeudy's going to be in play for me. I've got him in a couple of spots, and because of some injuries and some bye weeks, it's going to be a thing. So I'm hoping for it. I mean, you got a lot of wide receivers between the Rams, the Cleveland, Cincinnati, Philadelphia. You got a lot of key players sitting this week. So Jerry Jeudy's definitely going to be a thing, and there's a lot of tight ends sitting too. So Fant's going to be a big thing as well.
Yeah, the only player that I'm really looking at is, especially if Calvin Ridley is not there, is Julio Jones, and you can get a little different with Russell Gage if Calvin Ridley's out, maybe even a little Hayden Hurst. But Julio is going to be another one of those kind of chalky guys along with Diggs. So I think it's like Metcalf, Diggs, and Julio would probably be like the first three guys you put in your lineup for a cash lineup, just based off of the games that we've talked about.
For sure. And if anybody's listening, you are always welcome to drop comments into any of the comment spots that we are broadcasting from. We are happy to answer your questions. And if you feel like being entertained, you're always welcome to join us live. We like callers. DM me. I'll show you how to get in the show. Anyways, let's move on to the next game, my friends. We're going to try to keep a better pace this week.
Let's do it.
My bad, usually. Baltimore Ravens heading to the Indianapolis Colts. 47-point over-under, 2-point favorite are the Colts. And are they just kind of overblowing the Colts' success last week? That seems like a low point total. That seems like a low amount of points they're taking from the Ravens. I mean, it seems a little off.
I'm personally not interested in anything on the Indianapolis side of this game. That wide receiving crew, Phillip Rivers just dishes it all around, and you just really can't pick one of those guys. So I'm not super interested. Jack Doyle had a good game, but that's going to be very touchdown dependent. And these running backs, just can't figure it out. They're one guy 1 week, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. We've been trying to figure it out all season. You think you kind of have a handle on it. It's going to be game flow dependent, and then all of a sudden it's not. Jonathan Taylor has been a huge disappointment. That being said, he's probably going to blow up this week, and not likely against Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins, I guess, is a little bit interesting for me in this game if Mark Ingram doesn't play.
I'm back on Mo Alley Cox as a salary saver on the tight end. I mean, they're hurting wide receiver core again, and he splits out well. He could take some of those targets T.Y. is not going to get. So I think he's 2,700, 2,900 tight end.
Yeah, I think an interesting play too, though, getting into kind of these fringe plays, which most of these guys are, is Devin Duvernay along with your Baltimore defense. If you want to get real crazy, I mean, this is a big field GPP Millie Maker type situation. That's the type of combo that you have where they post the Millie Maker lineup and everybody's like, oh, that's a bot lineup. Who'd play Duvernay? Well, look, if you do it, you have this video, you can point to it. Say, I'm not a bot. Who cares? Even if somebody calls you a bot, you'd have $1 million.
That's right. Whatever. Screw that. No, hey, man, the last time we talked about that on the air, what happened? Duvernay ran one back, bro.
Yeah, and it was a showdown lineup. That makes it easier to play him in those. I still like Marquise Brown, and I think you're getting a discount on Lamar Jackson. He's all the way down at 6,900, just not running the ball nearly as much. Seems a little bit off with his wide receivers, but I mean, it's gonna come. He's just a little bit off, with Hollywood. They're gonna make that connection. Hopefully, it happens this season, and I want to be there for it. So it's a combo that I'm considering.
Speaking about a nice combo, I don't know if you remember, but we were on the show Sunday morning, week 1. And I got a trade proposal in the league that I'm in like third place and tied for first with everybody got the same record. And the guy wanted to trade me Aaron Rodgers for CeeDee Lamb, and I hemmed and hawed on it for a minute, and I had Adams in that lineup, and then I went ahead and did that. It's been paying off for me. Just wanted to say that.
I had a really nice trade happen 2 weeks ago. My team was it's in bad shape, needed a running back. So I said, hey, I'm willing to trade any of my wide receivers because I had a bunch of them, DJ Moore, Kenny Galladay, Terry McLaurin. I had some good ones. a trade came through. The basis was basically Kenny Golladay for Melvin Gordon. You know, I hate Melvin Gordon. And then there was somebody else that was involved in that trade that I was like, whatever. You know what? I'm just going to accept it. Melvin Gordon actually has a really nice late season matchups. I don't think I'm going to make it there, but then Golladay gets hurt, and I was like, yeah, both me and him are really, really bad this year.
Funny.
So
I just want to point out that the leading receiver for San Francisco on the first drive was Richie James.
Cool.
1 catch for 6 yards. Turn it up for me.
Nice. I hope you win that. Whatever.
The 10 cents I put in, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what first place is in that. Like $100? Like, I don't know.
That's like $1,500.
Oh, man, they are just Aaron Jones. You know, and this is where I'm angry because I had a little more Aaron Jones, but Lou's like, nah, man. You
got to quit listening to Lou on running.
It's just a decoy. Man. It's just a decoy.
Just got to quit doing that. Yeah. Aaron Jones has 6 touches and 48 yards already. So
let me go find it.
It's all good. Anyways, let's continue on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I got a little Mo Alley Cox in Indianapolis just because he's super cheap and he's going to get some time split out in the wide receiver area like he had been doing before he got hurt. And then moving on here, Houston Texans heading to Jacksonville. We got 50.5 here. The Texans favored by 7. Speaking about the Texans, man, I don't know why they want to get rid of it. I guess they're trying to retool. But, man, Will Fuller going to Green Bay would have been something fun to watch. I can't believe Green Bay couldn't pull the trigger on that. They were divided in the clubhouse on the management on whether they wanted to spend what it was going to take. And I think they really screwed up. I think you got to go for the win when you got the chance.
Yeah, that window was closing, but I don't think it was needed. I don't think that's not the problem that Green Bay has right now. It's kind of defensively. They could have used another wide receiver. I just don't know if Fuller was really that was a terrible pass. I don't know if that was the guy, but hey, here's the thing. We just talked about like a couple quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and now you got Deshaun Watson here. These guys are all within $200 of each other. So you were saying that Josh Allen was the first guy in all your builds, but I would tell you this is a situation where ownership is interesting because Watson and Jackson are both guys that have similar, while they're not in the better matchup, they're in decent enough matchups, especially Watson, that they, are people that you should look at. They are guys that could score 30 or 40 points from that quarterback position just as easily as Josh Allen could. And being that they're in tougher or less good matchups is why that they're going to have that ownership that's lower, and you're getting a discount on them from an ownership perspective there. Pricing all being the same, those are guys that I really like. I like Watson, maybe even a little Will Fuller action, maybe a little Brandon Cooks, maybe just everybody from the Texans, and then run it back with James Robinson. And that's kind of where I feel, because I don't think Minshew is going to be playing this week. I think
no, Minshew's out, and honestly, both these defenses suck. They really do. They're terrible. Houston's cornerbacks are terrible, but it sucks that Minshew's not going to play. But I really like James Robinson in this game. I like all 3 of the main receivers from Houston in this game. I'm with you on Watson. I like that a lot. I wish that I could like David Johnson here, but I don't know that I can because he's 13-point David Johnson. If you're just looking at your lineup and you're like, man, I need 13 points, David Johnson's the guy you put in there. But
yeah, but when you look at the guys that are around him, I mean, price point wise, you're talking Melvin Gordon, Zach Moss, Philip Lindsay, Carlos Hyde, Le'Veon Bell, David Montgomery. I think I trust David Johnson a little bit more. He's just been getting better. I mean, like, listen, 11.2, 12.3, 13.9, 17.4. My math tells me that he should score 23.1.
23.1.
Yeah.
Mark it down. I'm writing it down in my journal.
That'd be great. I mean, like, do you want to pay up for David Montgomery? Do you want to pay up for Antonio Gibson? Do you want to pay $400 more for Jonathan Taylor?
Nope.
What about $600 more for Todd Gurley?
Nope. My problem is I like all the top guys, man. I like Robinson, and how can you not play Dalvin Cook? Is he just still automatic for his price? I mean, we're going to get there here shortly, but
anyway. There's some interesting plays up top. I mean, James Robinson at 7,000. That is a tough price. That's a tough price to pay.
It is.
For a guy that has only flashed it, and then this team should be behind. You don't know what Jake Luton's going to look like. Is he going to look like Justin Herbert, or is he going to look like DiNucci? I don't know.
Probably more likely DiNucci.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Houston's coming off a bye. Jacksonville's coming off a bye. They're well rested.
And we'll get to this game as well. But if I'm going to dip down, though, I go a little bit further, and I just take Justin Jackson at like $4,900. But we'll get there. Get there in a little bit.
Okay.
So moving on. Carolina Panthers heading to Kansas City, 52.5. Kansas City is currently favored 10.5. We didn't think they'd run it up last week. Man, we were wrong. Wrong about that.
Who did? Oh, I guess I didn't. But I did. I was the lone and sole proponent in the group chat that said they're not taking them out of the fourth quarter. They're not benching these guys. That's not something that you need to be worried about.
Hey, I didn't believe it either. I was just hoping. I was just tagging along on the narrative because I had to start Bell in a seasonal league.
Yeah, I played way too much Bell. I mean, look,
honestly, I would have lost, but I swapped in Philadelphia's defense like half an hour before the game started, and that did it all for me.
Well, I was delaying making my lineups, and then I was making them, and I was going through it, and I had time, and then all of a sudden I looked, and I had 2 minutes. I had 2 minutes, and I had to click a couple guys. I didn't really like my last lineup the way I didn't think it, but then I had to go and enter it into a bunch of other lineups, like all 5 of them. And like I don't know, just nerves got the better of me, and like my hand was shaking. I'm like, I got a minute and a half to get in.
You got to jump on the Johnny Danger Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Set your lineups and forget it, bandwagon.
No, what I need to do is do them at 9 o'clock and get them done before the show, or pretty much done before the show.
Yeah, because you know how for 8 weeks, every morning I'm like, so how your build's coming? And every week for 8 weeks, you're like, I haven't done them yet.
That's not true. First week,
it'd be a much better part of the show if you would be like, let me tell you how my builds are turning out, John.
Look, the first week they were done. But like, look, I just wish they would break all the NFL slates into 3 games, because the afternoon slate I did fairly well, almost hit it again. So I feel like I'm gonna hit that one again this year. Call my spot.
Fair.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? We talking about Kansas City, Carolina?
What? Yeah, we were talking about Kansas City, Carolina. Are we seeing the return of CMC?
We are. Look, this is one of those weird spots, though. Like, we don't want to play Hilaire because we feel like Bell's going to take something from him. But let's be honest, I don't think he is. I think this is a Hilaire spot. I think we can get sneaky, get a little Hilaire. I'm not playing Bell. I don't care. Not doing it. I think CMC comes back. Mike Davis probably.
Lou, you're on blast. As soon as the show is over, you're being muted from the group chat. So until Sunday morning after 1 o'clock.
Oh man, Richie James just like broke a huge run, and then
dude, I told you he was the man. Nobody listens.
You didn't say anything in the chat. I didn't even know that this was the guy. You didn't tell me.
I told you pre-show before the game launched that Richie James was the man, and that I put him in my lineup.
There was no conviction. There was no conviction there.
There was total conviction because I built one lineup and I put him in it.
But you didn't tell me anything about him. You just said it, and I was just like, oh, just in passing.
Richie James.
It wasn't like let me tell you something. Let me help you. Let me like give you some insider knowledge through my connections. It's not like when I tell you, hey, me and Jim Furyk had a text message and he's going to do well to this week. Like that didn't happen.
Richie James, dude, come on now. He is just everything you want him to be. It's just he's been being held down by being in Debo and Emmanuel Sanders' shadow for years on end, and he's going to get the chance to shine tonight. I'm just telling you. Everybody was all like, Trent Taylor. I was in arguments with people on Facebook start-em-sit-em groups who were going to bench Christian Kirk for Trent Taylor tonight. What the hell is wrong with them? Never a good idea. Now, if he would have said, Richie James, he's going to be number 1 receiver tonight. Just saying. Anyways, moving on. Carolina, Kansas City. Let's keep talking about them. CMC. DFS-wise, are you in on him? I mean, season long, you're playing him. There's just you just can't not play him in season. He's in. But DFS, what do you got?
I don't know yet. I don't think it's a problem if you decide to play him.
Where's he priced at?
8,500. I mean, I think it's the right price. It's going to depend on ownership. His ownership looks like it's pretty low. I might take a stab at him. I want some exposure if I had a couple lineups. I don't know if he's in my single lineup, but when you look at some of those other high-priced running backs, I mean, Dalvin Cook's just going to be super high owned. He's playing Detroit, makes all the sense in the world. But a guy like Derrick Henry up around the same price, $600 discount, but playing Chicago, I mean, that's an interesting GPP lineup right there just because he shouldn't succeed. But I don't know. I think you could even have a lineup where you put McCaffrey and Henry if they're going to be low enough owned, put them together because, again, we're talking about guys that have the ability to supersede the matchup that they're in. And those are some of the transcendent talents on a yearly basis, on a weekly basis that we're looking at, that the matchup that they're in doesn't necessarily matter, or when they're playing matchups that are very difficult and a lot of other people don't succeed in, they can, overcome that with their sheer talent and will and ability to play the game. I like him. I don't know. I'm talking about Derrick Henry. We were talking about McCaffrey. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm lukewarm. I'm not sure.
Let's see. Where is he at in projected ownership right now? I'm looking that up right now. He is 4.5% projected ownership. McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll go up before the week starts because,
I mean, I don't know. That sounds great. Like Christian McCaffrey at 45 or at 4% ownership, 8,500. Like, let's go take a look at how the good old Chiefs have done against running backs. 10th fewest. That's not great. That's tight ends. It's different. I saw Hunter Henry's name there. I was like, that's a little different. David Johnson, 11 for 77 and a touchdown, 3 and 32. So 100 all-purpose yards. Austin Eckler ate him up. Josh Kelly ate him up at the same time. Damian Harris got 100 yards with Rex Burkhead, 45. I mean, this is I'm in. I like it.
Yeah.
4% ownership, absolutely. 20%, maybe not. But 4%, yeah. Like let's try and jam them in.
What about 28% owned Dalvin Cook?
That's going to go higher. He's going to be about 35.
Oh. Yeah, for sure.
And I think, yeah, definitely. Why not? You know how different last week could have been? There was a run, and I think he fumbled, or maybe he was down. I don't remember it, but I remember typing it out because it was on maybe the first drive for Minnesota, and he stayed down. I was like, man, he's re-injured in the first drive. How crazy is that? I just felt like everything was falling apart for you. And then all of a sudden he stayed in and scored 16 touchdowns. And,
It's gross. I wish I had put my Aaron Rodgers in Adams Cook's lineup in our seasonal league. Would have run away with it. Put up 187 with that lineup. Instead, the Saints kicked a field goal, and then the Bears defense couldn't even get a sack in the last 3 drives by New Orleans, so I lost by 0.27 points.
I'm truly amazed that I'm still in third place in that after a couple of really bad showings. I just guess that's how badly I beat people the first 3 or 4 weeks.
I'm telling you, man, I took third 2 weeks ago and second last week. It's taking it all this week.
All right.
That's how you got to look at it, right?
Next game.
All right. Next game. Detroit Lions heading Minnesota Vikings. 50.5 and 4.5 point favorites are the Vikings. We've got no Kenny Golladay. Is this a week to try to start a Kirk Cousins? I mean, we know the obvious plays. Can you have a lineup with Marvin and Marvin?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I'm not really too interested on the Detroit side. I might decide to run it back, but I think playing Dalvin Cook is definitely a good play. We've talked about that, and then I don't know. I feel like it's an Adam Thielen week. It's his time to come back, right?
Thielen kind of shreds the Lions as a general rule. So, yeah, I'm with that. Marvin Hall, though, down at like $3,700 or something around there, and he's going to be lining up as the deep guy.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had Mark on the show because he usually has pretty strong opinions about who does well against the Lions, and usually if you go the opposite way, you're in a good spot because he can never nail that line stack just the right way. So you just need Mark there. You need to know what he's thinking. Is he thinking Adam Thielen? Is he thinking Justin Jefferson? I want to know, Mark. Throw it in the chat.
Richie James about to score a touchdown. Feel it. It's coming.
All right.
Feel it. 3rd and goal. Richie James. Give it to him.
But, yeah, I mean, you're getting a discount on Adam Thielen. It's depressed based off of a couple bad weeks, 6,700. He was up in the high 7s, I think, at one point.
I love Thielen, man. Love it.
Still a guy that scores touchdowns and bunches for this team. I like Thielen. I just don't think that without Galladay, the way the Lions have played, I don't think this gets into some type of crazy shootout. And I feel like those crazy shootouts are the ones where Justin Jefferson just gets a little bit more run. Who's number 86, but he dropped it. It starts with a C. I don't even know who he is. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. No idea. What about Swift? Where's Swift at? Swift's at $5,000, 7.8% projected ownership at the moment. Minnesota's D on running game has been okay.
I don't think he's getting enough usage to decide to play him. I mean, he had that game, and that game he didn't get extra usage. He just broke a big run, got rewarded, got the 2 touchdowns. I mean, you look at the game the week after that against the Falcons, not much different, very similar snap count, similar carry count, slightly less, still got a touchdown, didn't even come close to doing what you needed him to do. We've gotten our run out of Swift so far this year. So unless they got rid of Carry-On or, Adrian Peterson, I'm not interested. Shout out to Mick Stevens, who plays Adrian Peterson every single week in our seasonal league for DFS. We all love you. Thank you.
By the way, that wide receiver was River Craycraft.
Yeah, where was he in my write-up? I don't know.
River Craycraft. I don't even think he was on the DK slate. So, and they're saying it could be a touchdown that's under review right now. The chat room says touchdown, and the chat room also says no touchdown, and the chat room also says pick 6 for a touchdown. And these chat rooms, they always are hilarious. All right, moving on. Well, not quite moving on. I mean, I think Stafford's going to be a popular choice because the Minnesota team struggles so bad, giving up points to the quarterback and top wide receivers. It's a shame that Galladay is not playing this game. Otherwise, that's a guaranteed 20-point game out of Galladay. Marvin Jones has played better the last few weeks, but he's not always done well when Galladay's not in there. So I struggle to play him even in a prime matchup. Marvin Hall, fine. Cephas might have a game. I don't know. Probably staying away from any of those plays personally. But yeah, Cook, man. Cook. Love him. Moving on. Chicago Bears and the Tennessee Titans. 46.5. Tennessee Titans are favored by 6. Go ahead. Give me some thoughts here. And drink some beer.
Yeah, well, like I was just saying, I like Derrick Henry in this matchup. I don't think that this is traditionally a matchup that you're looking for. I think you can get a fair amount of leverage because his ownership's projected to be really, really low. I mean, we don't normally look at the ownership on Wednesdays, and Thursdays aren't really all that much better. But as we open this up, let's take a look. I've got them.
While you're opening that up, just a shout out to my employer, Witch's Hat Brewing Company, because this is probably the best stout we've ever brewed. And that's saying something. Just saying.
Man, I'm waiting for that package that I won.
It's in the mail, man. The USPS is holding it up. It's a conspiracy. They're drinking it all themselves.
Look, it better be postmarked by a certain date, or I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to drink it because you got to drink every beer. But I'm gonna complain about it. Okay. Got him at 16% owned, 4th highest owned. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that he's going to be that high owned at that price.
Who was that? Henry? I'm sorry, I was drinking beer.
Yeah, Henry. I mean, they've got James Conner, I think, in a great spot, owned around the same thing for $1,000 less. I don't get it. I don't believe it.
So you're saying load up Henry and CMC in my lineup?
Yeah, I like Henry. I think he's going to be – I don't think he's going to be 15, 16% owned. I just don't. There's smarter people than me making these, ownership projections. But, yeah. So, outside of that –
no touchdown. Field goal, Robbie Gould.
I like a lot of I like Corey Davis. Allen Robinson. What kind of target share did he get last week? I wasn't big on him. 7 targets. I don't know.
Dude, you got to look at Mooney. Come on, man. 3,900. Dude's been putting up wide receiver 2 numbers.
He is the wide receiver 2. I played him a lot in the showdown not too long ago. But
heck yeah, man. 3,900. Not even over 4,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough to play.
Although, didn't Tennessee just trade for another stud cornerback? Isn't their defense going to be a little bit better this week than it has been? Or is he not playing because of COVID?
I have no idea. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I don't think he'll play this week.
Yeah, this just doesn't seem like the type of game that you want to go and get a lot of fantasy pieces from. This feels like a 24-20 kind of game, maybe less than that. I like Derrick Henry. I think you can play Corey Davis, or A.J. Brown's always playable, as is Allen Robinson. But to play a cheap guy in a team that's implied 20 points, I don't know. I think it's getting a little fancy. It's a little danger fancy play.
Yeah, a little tipsy. Maybe I'll make that video tonight and I'll drink like 3 more of these.
Hey, Godspeed.
I mean, anything could happen, Chris. Got 3 more.
It's practically the weekend.
The weekend.
It's not Wednesday, so it's a whole different game.
It really is. It's really a whole different situation going on today. What about just in general, maybe not for this week, but Corey Davis has really absolutely come on in the last month. We watched him play here in Michigan, of course, his college ball. And he's been kind of disappointing in his career until the last month, and he's awesome. And, I just tried to trade for him. I tried to trade Tyler Lockett for him in a keeper league where I couldn't keep Lockett, and the guy turned me down.
I think Corey Davis, this might be the last chance that we can get him sub 6,000. So, again, it goes back to when you're playing against the Bears, you don't necessarily want a game stack, but you can get a piece here at guys that are going to be a little bit lower owned than they maybe would be against even just average opponents because the defense is good. But you do have A.J. Brown. He's going to get the primary coverage. He's going to get that bracketed safety, presumably, and he's going to get more attention. If Corey Davis is going to be drastically higher owned than A.J. Brown, I think that's when you go back to A.J. Brown because he's at a pretty substantial discount than, this is what his price has been, but at least it went down.
What about Humphreys against Buster Screen?
No, I'm good. Humphreys dead to me. I'm done.
You dead to me, Adam Humphreys. All people named Adam are dead to us until Adam shows his face back up.
Yeah, so, it's a funny story. I've got a friend who thought he was invited by one of our vendors to go golfing tomorrow. So he bought some golf clubs and stuff like that, and he knew he was going to be golfing with some other people. The dude hasn't golfed in like 13 or 14 years. And he's a lefty, so he had to go buy clubs because he can't just rent them and whatever. Gets the email on who they're going to be golfing with, and it's actually like a big 30-person golf tournament. It's like for charity or something. I was like, look, this is what you need to do. And he's like, I'm going to Top Golf tonight. I've got to figure this out with my swing and everything. I'm like, look. When you go there, you need to just act serious, like you're really good at golf. And then as you're just falling apart, just you act like this doesn't happen. You have no idea what's going on. Don't be the guy that's like, oh, I suck. Just be hyper competitive about it and just be really, really bad. So
I like it. That's a good theory. Excellent.
I'm trying to find the ownership on these guys. Corey Davis is going to be, he barely even registers at 0.8% ownership. I think, like that. Brown, we're talking 3%. I think getting one of the two of these guys in your lineup, it would be crazy not to try and jam one of them in. They again have huge ceilings, despite who they're playing.
I like it. New York Giants heading to the Washington football team. 42 points over under. 3-point favorites are Washington. Man, I think another scary Terry week for me. I think another crack at the tight end spot for Washington there again for me with a little Logan Thomas.
Yeah,
That's it. I'm good. That's it. That's all I want.
Terry McLaurin has one of the best schedules down the stretch. If you can get him in your season-long team, definitely try and trade for him. Just look at who they're playing. Washington's gone through the toughest part of their schedule already. They have like 5 or 6 games left against the NFC East, which is bad. This is going to be one of them. I love Terry McLaurin in this game. I think he could play Antonio Gibson. His price is a little bit high. But McLaurin, again, this is gonna look like a discount 2 to 3 weeks from now. Him at 6,500, so definitely like him. Antonio Gibson at 58, it's just too expensive, and I think you can always play Darius Slayton. He's still super cheap. It's the divisional game. I think this is the second time these two teams have played. Yeah, they played a couple weeks ago. Typically, the second game in a divisional matchup goes way low. Hey, you know what's really crazy too? I just realized this, that Green Bay has scored, I think, almost every week on their first touchdown drive, or on their first drive, a touchdown on their first drive.
And all the Adams, man.
And then they've just struggled after that in a lot of cases, and it's just happening again. So
yeah, they're about to kick off the second quarter with a punt. Fantastic. Go Niners.
That's how you kick them.
That's right. Las Vegas Raiders heading to the LA Chargers. Only 1-point favorites are the Chargers, 52 over under. This is another spot. I like our boy Herbert. I like our boy Allen. I like Hunter Henry. And Justin Jackson getting absolutely disrespected at $4,900 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm looking at ownership here for Darren Waller at 5,800. It looks like he's going to be the highest owned tight end, and I think that's just a result of there not being a lot of good tight end. Am I? Okay, so give me a second here. I just, we've glanced over this, but Mark Andrews is 4,800 and supposed to be 7% owned. That's interesting. We talked about that game. I'm going to, continue to go back to this, but Darren Waller, I didn't think he would have that. I thought his ownership might be a little lower. Disappointing game last week. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's crazy to me. But yeah, I like a lot of pieces here. Josh Jacobs, super cheap.
Josh Jacobs is projected to be the number 1 owned running back.
Yeah, and hey, I've been saying this all along. Keenan Allen's going to be up around 7K, and there he is. He's 7K. I still like him at 7K. I like Mike Williams. I like this game. We did not see the shootout last week, partially because of the wind. I think we might see it here. This is a divisional game. I don't think that they've played yet this year. So a result of that, I think this could be a 50, 60-point game. And I think I want pieces from both sides of this. When we look at somebody that I was really, really excited about last week was, Derek Carr. Didn't work out. Again, wind. I think this could be the week. 5,700. He's still pretty cheap. I like Justin Herbert, but I think a lot of people, when they stack this game, if this is a game stack where people are looking, and I think it probably is, just based on its overall total, I suspect they go to Justin Herbert over Derek Carr. Am I crazy about that?
Oh, I think so.
Richie James, another catch.
Yeah, that's my boy. I told you.
Yeah.
4 for 72, bro. Too bad I have Hasty in that lineup, and he is 1 for -1.
Yeah, McKinnon, kind of like what I said. I like McKinnon a little bit more. I just didn't trust it.
I played them both. He's going to get those tired legs, and Hasty's going to take over in the second half.
Yeah, man. Together, we would have had a good lineup if we just listened to each other.
That's right.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, I like all pieces of this. Mike Williams, Josh Jacobs, Waller, Henry Ruggs, both the quarterbacks. This is a game I like to target, or I'd want to target, or I'd like to want to target.
Let's do it. Let's just target it. Why are we talking about it? Let's do it.
Let's go to target.
All right. Miami Dolphins going to Arizona. Man, I just love a lot of this game. Edmonds obviously super popular. Is Drake going to play? Is he out?
I think that's yet to be determined.
So that's interesting to keep on. I think Edmonds is priced way too high if Drake's in the game. So maybe not. I could be wrong about that. D-Hop, Kirk, Murray. This is a Murray week. I mean, I have Arizona's defense because Miami won. If you look at the box score, if you only look at the score from last week, what was the score of that game? 28-17. Miami beat the Rams. That was all defense, man. Tua threw for like nothing. Let me look at Tua. 93 yards. 93 yards is what Tua threw for. So people are going to look at that and go, "Hey, Miami put up 28 points." They're not going to look deep at that. Tua sucks. I mean, not sucks. He's going to be fine. But I like Arizona's defense. Their price is right. I like a lot of pieces on Arizona. Not a big fan of Miami under Tua. I think they really screwed up going to him too early. They had a shot at that division if Buffalo stumbles, and I can't believe that they left our boy Fitzmagic out in the lurch like that.
Yeah, but to say the same thing, I like Miami's defense. They've been actually really good the last couple of weeks. They haven't played great offenses, and so that's something to consider here is that Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and this Cardinals offense is going to be a lot better than the Jets. It's going to be a lot better than the Rams. Kind of like, yeah, I mean, they're in the same, a lot better than the 49ers, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, this team's creating pressure. They're creating turnovers. They're getting points off those turnovers. They're limiting other teams. So I think that it's a pretty interesting spot to go back to that Miami defense. And I don't think a lot of people will go there justifiably. In terms of Kyler Murray, he's a safe play. He's getting expensive. But again, hasn't had a game yet this season under 24 points. So if you don't believe what I'm saying about that Miami defense, yeah, play Kyler Murray, playing with Hopkins, playing with, Chase. If Kenyon's not there, I'm not playing Kenyon this week. I'm done, though. If he plays, I'm done. I quit him.
I'm not in either, but I'm more interested in whether he plays or not, and that's if I'm going to play Edmonds. So if he's healthy and playing, I don't like 6,500 for Edmonds is just too much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with that. But I do like Christian Kirk.
Oh no, that was.
I'm not watching, so you're gonna have to fill me in.
All right, so Nick Mullins goes back. He gets hit. After he gets hit, he tries to throw the ball. It goes straight up. Oh no, he threw it first, but it was bad. It was a bad thing. He shouldn't have thrown it. It was intercepted. Richie James did not catch it. Unless Richie James is wearing 24 on the Packers.
I mean, he's a magical man, that Ricky James. It couldn't have happened.
All right, I'm ready for the last game of the slate. I'm ready for the game where, there's a lot of pain.
A lot of pain. Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Dallas, 42. Could you have imagined this in like week 3 being a 42-point over-under? That's just mind-blowing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, mind-blowing. This Dallas team was on pace to literally smash every offensive record in the book. And now they're being told that what's their projected game total for them? 16, 18?
14.
Yeah, it's stupid. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. The Steelers are favored by 14 points. It's DiNucci again this week, didn't they? Did they already say that or not? They haven't said that.
No, it's going to be Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert.
All right. You just play the Steelers defense and just suck it up. Just pay that price. What are they, like 4,700?
49.
Yeah, dude. You pay $5,000 for your defense and just say, yeah, because we're going to get 20 points.
Yeah, that's a pretty expensive. Are you going to get 15 points from them? That's kind of what you need. I think there's a lot of crazy prices here. They're all justified. Zeke is down at 6,600.
Dude, Gallup's at like 4,000.
Yeah, those guys, the wide receivers are a little bit more justifiable to be low, but like Zeke should get like all of the touches. I don't know, man. This team's a mess. I'm just trying to figure out, you want to play James Conner. We've talked a lot of other good plays. I think James Conner is a smash play here, especially with the defense. Should have some type of good correlation. It's actually one of the strongest correlations he has. There's a really strange correlation with Eric Ebron that I don't think is real. I think that's noisy. But I also like Claypool. Deontay Johnson's a great player. Just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I can't play him again and watch him go out in the first drive. I just can't. That just ruins your day. I'd rather him just have like a 3 catches for 12 yards, but be out there than get hurt that first play with the goose egg and then just know it's going nowhere. It's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're on the TikTok app, but Claypool is a good follow on there. He's a funny guy, seems really real, and I've got
the app, Chris, but the problem is that I have it because my kid shares funny things that I want to be able to watch, and every time you try to click on a link somebody gives you, if you don't have it, it's like the most pain in the butt thing. But it's a disturbing app, so I have to learn how to filter things better if I'm actually going to use it.
If you just keep watching the things that you like, it learns what you're watching in terms of what you're watching longer, and then who you follow, and then it'll show you stuff. Like I followed they forced you to create a login at one point, so I created it, and I followed somebody that I find entertaining on most of their stuff, but not like their political views. And then I started seeing a lot of stuff similar to their political views, which are not of my own. And it took quite a while of following other people and not watching those videos and watching the ones that I liked to not start seeing those things that I didn't want to see.
Aaron Jones is just dominating this game.
Yeah, fuck Lou. Decoy. Not really. That was a little
I love it. So, I mean, yeah, I think one of the 4 builds I have is Roethlisberger, Connor, and Claypool. It's not that expensive.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to play Ben Roethlisberger. He's just not. No, I mean, 6,500. There's so much else. There's so many plays.
There is, but that's a 10-cent, giant tournament one. So trying to get some weird stuff in there.
I think you can get weird with better plays that have better ceilings, like a Lamar Jackson or a Deshaun Watson. I think Lamar Jackson's the way to.
Well, I think I got to jam a Henry and CMC lineup in. So that happens. I mean, maybe I don't. Maybe I literally leave everything from 11 a.m. Tuesday morning. I think it's a good plan.
I mean, maybe you play Garrett Gilbert in the AF lineup. He's only 4,800. He's gonna toss 2 or 3 touchdowns. You know what? I'm gonna put Dallas in. What's 14 points? Yeah, let's do it. Dallas.
Plus 14.
There we go. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let this get bet down, and when it's like 17, I'm gonna take it.
I like it. All right, that was the main slate. And then Sunday night, Saints and Bucks, man. Drew and Tom shooting out for the touchdown total, but I don't think Drew's got a chance, man. His arm's dead.
Well, Tampa Bay's defense is good.
Very good.
It was one of those situations last week that it was unfortunate circumstances with the fumble at the 12. That really kind of changed the dynamic of that game, gave him some confidence. I think that you can kind of expect this to be a little bit more of a defensive game. It's in Tampa, so it's outside. It's the second time that the two teams have played interdivisional matchup. Man, it would be better. Jameis needs to play this game. Drew Brees needs to get hurt. Jameis comes out, beats Tom Brady.
I just need Tampa's run defense to just be on point because in the one league that I'm actually winning, I'm playing against a guy who's starting both Kamara and Murray due to injuries.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Like, is Ronald Jones going to play? Is Leonard Fournette going to play? I don't know. And that, I think, is going to be part of it. But you know who I am going to play? Antonio Brown, baby.
Vomit.
Man, Tom loves this guy. Tom loves this guy. And I don't –
Vomit.
So weird. Doesn't make any sense to me. But, kudos to him. He's stayed out of trouble. I think he kind of had a psychotic break. He's come back from that. Maybe he can change his life.
Why are you going to watch Monday Night Football this week?
I don't even know who's playing.
Patriots going to the Jets.
Man, they are just hitting us with these good island games during the week. Hey,
why can't they have every one of these night games, like primetime games, to just be flex spots throughout the year and be like, look, prove to us you're a good team, then you can have these spots.
Yeah, especially since there's no fans at a lot of these games at this point. Like, it's not obviously it changes certain things, but God, like, why do the Jets have I guess they get a Thursday. Why do you have the Jets on Monday? Like, what made you think that the Jets should get a Monday night game? Do the Lions have a Monday night game this year?
Lions never have a Monday night because they didn't have one for years because they have that Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, but the Jets had a Thursday night game. Let's take a look. So, no, the Lions don't. So why do you have the Jets on there? I mean, some of these matchups are excusable because they looked good going into it, but like the Giants are on here. Like how many? I mean, it's a New York market, so I'll let them go. But the Jets, come on.
Breaking news in the NFL: Las Vegas Raiders being fined $500,000 and stripped of their 6th round pick for COVID-19 violations.
Damn.
The money nobody cares about, but losing the draft pick blows.
Well,
I don't know. We've covered all the games in the main slate. So to the two people watching currently live, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment box of wherever you're there. We're happy to answer them. Football related, golf related, beer related. Probably not politics unless you really want to hear Chris and I talk about that. Probably not going to happen. Dating advice. Both of us are married now, but Chris probably remembers his dating days better than I do.
It's true.
Oh, show. I don't know. What's on your mind, man? Tell me about League of Legends, everything booting back up. I know it's 2 months away still, but what are we getting excited for? What are we going to build? If you're an esports fan, Chris and I have promised that we are going to expand esports coverage on fantasyfootballblueprint.com, which hopefully will be rebranded to fantasysportsblueprint.com.
So yeah, I think we're gonna try and get some daily videos. Some are going to be longer than others. They're going to break down the slates. Those are going to be for DFS. I think we're going to have some spreadsheets that are going to be available. They'll probably be free at first. Figure out a way to share those, maybe through a non-editable Google Drive type situation with a link.
Easy to do.
Yeah, super easy. So that's going to be something that we're going to look at for League of Legends, and that's going to be any particular league that they're going to have DFS content for. So that's probably going to be the LCS, the LEC, the LPL, the LCK. Basically, it's going to have historical data on kills allowed in wins, losses. We're going to have a couple other statistics that you can find other places, but it's just going to be easier to have it in one single place, have the matchup, be able to look at the historical data and say, okay, well, this team lost to these teams and they were good teams, and this is kind of the kill total that they allowed in those games. So those are really important things, and we're going to explain why you need to look at those things, along with some written content, maybe even some audio content. So that'll be a daily thing because the LPL is going to be a daily league, but we have gotten word that the LCS, which is the American League, is going to do a lot of things differently. They're going to increase the amount of games that are played. They're going to change kind of the regular season, so it's a little bit different. And, it's going to be all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there's going to be a lot more content that on top of the LEC. So it's, Fridays and Saturdays are going to be kind of exciting come January and February because you're going to have the LEC probably playing from like 12 to 4. And then you're going to have the LCS playing from like 4 to 8. Same thing on Saturdays. Now Sundays will be a little different, but we're going to have all of that. We're going to have coverage on Call of Duty. I don't know how much DFS content there's going to be for Call of Duty League this year. I imagine that there's going to be some, but we're going to put together, some betting articles, and we're going to talk about that. So there's coverage on a lot of sportsbook for Call of Duties, DL, even if there's not DFS. And
I don't know if I'll be able to help you on Call of Duty, my friend. You might be doing solo videos on that.
Yeah, that's fine. It's once every 2 weeks. So, we'll talk about that, but try and get maybe a weekly or bi-weekly show about that, about the league, about the different things that are going on. And those are kind of the two primary things. And we're going to try and work in CSGO as well. And those are going to be the three things that we follow. I'm not sure that there's going to be any else DFS content, but there might be some freebies out there in terms of StarCraft betting. But, there's only so much time in the day.
I like it, man. How do we go about being able to stream those matches live on Twitch? Can we do that? Or do you have to have a license for that?
You have to have permission.
So how do we get permission? Is it all about the De Niro, or can we just ask?
It's going to be something like that, yeah.
We're just say, have you looked at Chris and John? Do you have any better looking commentators? I don't think that you do.
Well, look, what we can do is, hey, you can get a kind of a live stream going on, and we can watch them together. You can see our live reactions as we watch the games. We can talk through it. But
see the scroll on the bottom? We could put a scroll on the bottom where they could click the link on Twitch to actually watch the feed, but they can turn off that audio and just listen to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they can turn off the auto watch it. There is a casting channel that does allow amateur casts, and so maybe after a couple games we'll have some content. We can go there and cast. There's a lot of C's there. It's hard to talk.
Content casting.
Yep,
I like it. So when Katie had her job before U of M, she was a banquet coordinator, and so her business card said Katie Cole Cottage Inn Catering Coordinator. Used to crack me up.
Wow.
That's it. That's all I had for you. That's it. All right, buddy. I think that's good for the night. It was a pleasure hanging out with you. I'm sure we'll chat a little bit after we end the broadcast. But Draft for Upside, check us out on Facebook. Go to fantasyfootballblueprint.com for all of our premium material and a bunch of free stuff on there as well. We get into some weird contests in there and some nice bets and, some other stuff. It's been fun seeing you. We will be live 11 a.m. Sunday morning for First Sip, breaking down the final thoughts before the slate kicks off. I am Johnny Danger for Chris Emrick. We'll see you Sunday morning.